My mom was going to the hospital so much, to the point the hospital even said, if she bring her back, we're not sticking the IVs in her anymore because we can't catch a vein. But I wouldn't, when I heard that word hospice again, I wasn't ready for that. That's, to me, even though I know that's not what it is, and everything that I'm saying is my experience. I can't speak for, one thing I learned about when you get to talking, I'm not speaking for anyone else but Leah, Yeah. But that word hospice made me feel like I was giving up on my mom. Mm-hmm. I don't care if she is 89 and can't walk. I don't care if she ain't even, hospice felt like that. I was just saying, fuck it. I ain't had that in me. And the last time when we went in the hospital, it was Valentine's Day. And they called, the doctors was like, look, there's nothing more we could do. We're going to send her home on hospice. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to the store to get some balloons because it was Valentine's Day to take to her. Because they were releasing her, so I was coming to bring her home. I had to sign the papers. And I seen a friend of mine in Party City. And she said, what's wrong? You look like a ghost had hit you. And I was just like, I got to go get my mom. They're sending her home on hospice. So I had some friends and one of my nurses, because I kept my nurses. Even though the hospital had nurses, my mom had her own independent nurses that worked at the house when I was at work. Yeah. They went to the hospital because my mom couldn't answer any questions, and I wanted to make sure she was clean, she was fed, she was turned, she was changed. And when the doctors had questions, they had someone to answer. I didn't want to rely on them to call me. My nurse will call me if they don't know the answer. Yeah. And when I got there, they said my mom said she wanted a banana. And they was like, okay. They was like, because my dad's name was Cornelius. And she called him Corn. Mm-hmm. She said, he's sitting right there. He'll tell you. I like bananas. That happened when I wasn't there, and I wouldn't have been able to handle that because my mother died the next day. We came home that night, and I asked my nurse that morning, I said, should I go to work? She said, yeah, Mama's okay. Mama got up, ate. She changed her, sat her in the living room with a TV table, had on her cute pajamas, and my nurse took a picture of her waving at the camera. Mm-hmm. Then she called me later on that night. She said, something ain't right. I said, okay, well, give her an allergy pill. I'll be there in a minute. We had a storm came out of nowhere. And for this particular time, I did not rush to get home. Any other time I'm flying down the highway running the lights, I don't care about the police, none of that. But this particular time, I just took my time to get home. And I always drove my mother. I never cared for the hospital that was in my area. Mm-hmm. I always drove my mother and father all the way 45 minutes way out in Chesterfield. But by the storm coming this particular night, I wasn't going to make it. So I told them to call an ambulance. When I told the nurse to give my mom her pills, come to find out, my mother was holding the pills in her mouth. She didn't even swallow. I didn't get in the ambulance that day. We rolled behind it. So she's hyperventilating. And I'm telling them she needs a steroid because she had asthma along with other things. And I'm telling them she needs a steroid shot to calm down her wheezing. I'm out there delegating, getting the head surgeon, the head doctor on the floor, blah, blah, blah. And he just came and he said, we're going to have to incubate her. I've never passed out in my life. I hit the floor. And they got me up. And he said, your mom's old. He was like, and she's tired. He said, and basically she had vomited and it set in her lungs. Mm. So he said, once we put the tube down her throat, it'll clear some of that out. He said, but what do you want us to do? I said, well, I don't want her to suffer to die, but we're not going to go through all this extreme. She was already fragile.